Tell us a little bit about your background, Kerry.
Okay, so you'll probably figure out from my accent that I'm not from around here. I grew up near London in England, and in 1993 I came over to the States to coach tennis and be a counselor at a summer camp in upstate New York. And when I was up there, the tennis director had a connection with Jefferson State Community College in Birmingham, Alabama. And he suggested that I come and play tennis at Jeff State. So in those days, you didn't have the internet. It's not like you could research anywhere. So my main question was, is it hot and sunny in Birmingham, Alabama? And I was assured that yes, it was. So coming from England, that was important. And I headed to Birmingham, Alabama. I played tennis at Jeff State for a couple of years and met my future husband when I was there. He was the assistant coach the first year, but I was a mature student, so that was okay. We actually got married in England and lived there for a few years, but since 1999, Birmingham, Alabama has been home. I have a 18-year-old son, and he has just left home and he's gone to England to university. It's a fantastic opportunity and he's really enjoying life. My brother and my nephew are keeping an eye on him. I'm not sure that he'll come back to Alabama. We'll see. He was actually born in England, so he has dual nationality. And 2 years ago, I became a US citizen, so I too have dual nationality.
What is your favorite hobby?
That's pretty easy, playing tennis. I have played tennis since I was about 8 years old. I used to play all sports. I loved any kind of sport, which I think drove my older brother crazy because I've got a pretty competitive nature, so drove him crazy when we were kids. I guess I was about 12 when I took tennis seriously and focused on that. And my first tennis coach is she's actually a member of the All England Club at Wimbledon. So I have visited the championships many times, and each visit is kind of a unique experience, and I love taking people who've never been before. Outside, when the tournament's not been run, I've actually sat in the Royal Box. I've touched centre court, and I've even played on one of the outside courts. So that's pretty cool. I played on many tennis teams over the years, and I would say I have a lot of friends. It's kind of like a tennis family. So friends in several different countries as well. And really tennis has kind of been a catalyst for the direction and the opportunities I've had in life, so can't really imagine life without it.
All right. And when did you start working for Liszt?
I actually started working for Melvin and his wife Jill over 13 years ago. I was away at a tennis tournament with Jill and she suggested that I come work for them. I didn't have a clue what they did. Jackson had just started Week at OLS, so I was going to go back working part-time, and discovered that they were flipping houses and also had a large rental portfolio. So that's when I began to learn a little bit about real estate. I guess started working for Liszt when Melvin and Brent created the company in 2014, and so I've kind of been with Liszt from the beginning when they introduced the whole new concept into the local market of the flat fee listing commission. We were very busy and they were very successful. So I was working as a transaction coordinator really before many companies had that kind of administrative position. Agents were sort of worked their own deals. So I have helped Melvin over the years with over 400 sellers and over 200 buyers.
What is your role or job description?
Okay, so about 5 or 6 years ago when we were very busy. I rarely ever took lunch because I would often go and pick Jackson up from school, and it was just easier not to take lunch. So one day I specifically asked Melvin for a lunchtime, and I went off to a job interview. It was quite unexpected, came out of nowhere, but it was within tennis, and it was very difficult to turn down. But since that day, I have been the client care manager at Liszt Birmingham, and no looking back. I guess my role really is to be a backup for all the Liszt agents, and I'm also the office manager. But my specific role is helping Melvin with his clients and trying to make his life a little easier. So things really start off if we're working with a seller, the listing. I'm involved with, once Melvin has had a listing presentation and got the listing, I will help the seller get a key, lockbox, sign, get the stager, the photographer, get the MLS listing created on the MLS, and really kind of all the background that goes into setting everything up. And then Melvin takes over when the offers come in and he's negotiating. And then once the property's under contract, I then manage the contract, and that involves coordinating with the other agent, title companies, closing attorneys, lenders, just kind of taking the contract apart and looking at all the deadlines that need to be met and anything that has to happen. So that's, I guess, my role, and try and do that as best as I can for Melvin with all his clients.
Okay. Why do you feel that Liszt Birmingham has been so successful?
I've seen how the company has grown over the years. Melvin and Brent work incredibly hard for their clients, sellers or buyers, and there is absolutely no reduction in service, which is, I think, a misconception in the market with the flat fee commission. They're both very different, their personalities and their approach. Brent is full of enthusiasm and energy, and he's a night person, whereas Melvin is more methodical, attention to detail, and he's very much a morning person. But I think their individual skill sets have blended so well, and that's why they've been so successful. But they work very hard, and they're a great example to their agents, and they're always very available to their agents with advice and support. Have a great deal of knowledge and expertise and experience between the two of them.
Do you have a favorite memory when working here?
Favorite memory would be a former employee, a dear friend of mine, got the wrong impression from a conversation we had, and so she very kindly threw me a 50th birthday party. Unfortunately, the conversation was I was looking forward to my last birthday before my 50th. So I had a 49th birthday party as a surprise, and also a 50th the following year, which made it a whole lot easier to handle the big 50 because I'd already been there and done that. So that's a favorite memory.
That's funny. That's funny. Do you have a least favorite part of your job?
I would have to say meeting for sewer or septic inspections. I often get to meet buyers at properties that they're buying, and with sewer inspections, I'm amazed at how many times sellers don't know where their septic tank is. So you meet a septic tank company out there with your buyer, and you spend a while looking for the septic tank, and eventually find it and get to watch it being cleaned out. Sewer inspections, I think plumbers delight in wanting you to see what they see on their camera, so they're always keen to show you what's going on with the sewer pipe. So probably the least favorite part of my my job, but it's something that's got to be done.
Do you have a favorite client experience?
I don't really have a specific favorite client experience. What I like is when it's kind of like a full circle. If you help somebody buy a house, which then becomes their home, and then later on they're looking to sell that home. So a lot of emotions involved in the whole process. But yeah, certainly those that you're involved in on kind of both sides, if they're listing and then buying, or they're buying and then listing later on.
What is your biggest pet peeve with Melvin? I can't wait for this.
I think Melvin knows what my biggest pet peeve is, because I'm normally have a sort of bang on my desk when he's done what I'm annoyed with, and I hear a sorry through the office door. It's when he's done something that I've already handled with a client, or I'm in the middle of handling. My job is to make his life easier, so he's not copied on every communication I have with everyone, because that's supposed to free up his time. So it's got easier over the years, and it happens less often, but when he does, he tends to know when he's done it, and he normally apologizes, but I guess the good thing is that we both do things kind of the same way, because he trained me so well.
And why have you stuck around for so long?
They pay me.
Why are you still here?
I think that starts with the owners and their leadership. I believe in the company and the model that they've created. They work very hard, and they're easy to work for. There's a definite team atmosphere in the company, and you get a sense that everyone's got each other's backs and everyone's valued in the role that they have. Melvin and Brent are always available to their agents for any kind of advice and support. And I would say that I've worked with many agents over the years, and they're not all created equally. And I would say that Liszt Birmingham agents are the most well trained and the best supported. Have a good relationship with my bosses. They've been good to me over the years. They've helped and supported me when I've needed some extended time off work on a couple of occasions. And I enjoy coming into work every day.